Hi guys, welcome to new video. So today we'll take a look at another 1v1 game with Cozy, but this time his opponent will be Suvak. So let's take a look on that. They were playing on the Terraform map. I was here as observer, and Cozy was in the bottom right corner of the map with his Empire. I believe he also plays other races, but at least here he played basically only Empire in the 1v1s, so I guess that's probably his main race, and he plays it really well, so we will see how he deals with Suvak. And Suvak was of course in the top left corner of the map. This is a two-player map, so only these two spawns are possible. And he was playing here with the Beast Race and yellow color. Of course, Suvak in the past, definitely an Empire main. He's still probably one of the best Empire players, but lately he was definitely mainly focusing on Beast, I believe. And he really mastered many aspects of the Beast Race, so I think this might be a really interesting matchup. Also, this will be definitely a way longer game than what I had with Cozy in the 3 previous videos I showed you, where I was playing my Fallen against his Empire. So yeah, Suvak opening of course with Stables and Arena. Cozy as always bringing his peasant there, trying to get some early information with scouting, not even building for a really long time, even gathering some wood before even making a first building, getting all the way to 10 population, and before he even gets to the buildings he will be on 11 out of 12. Now going for barracks and farm, and leaving some space there to decide on what he wants to go for. If he would see immediate expansion, he would have the resources to go for one as well. When he saw this, he decided to go for normal barracks and farm. But yeah, he kinda scouted everything. But as you can see, Suvak is also bringing one minion. Minion harassment is one of the strongest things you have in an early game as Beast, because it's the strongest villager you can harass with. You will easily kill a peasant in 1v1, and even if there are 2 peasants, they have to waste lots of time to deal with the minions, so that's really strong. You can also easily kill summoner, even on unholy ground, so really strong. And it's also really quick, so just overall really useful to always harass with a minion if you can. Peasant is of course also really good, but minion is stronger in terms of stats. Of course, you have 1 more damage, you have 20 more HP, actually 30 more HP, so definitely really good. Of course, Fallen have stingers, but those you can't use immediately. You have to make deformer first, then hive, then produce him, yeah, so way longer process. That is the disadvantage of Fallen not having the immediate scouting as the other 2 races. But yeah, here he's kinda delaying once again. Cozy with the minion, keeping 2 peasants occupied, scouting the tower here, also the barracks that he saw that are producing something thanks to this dust coming out of it. And now he will come back immediately again to make sure the town hall is here. And he's also bringing 1 warrior now. So even though there is a swordsman now, that would easily kill the minion, now with the warrior it's getting much harder. And Cozy will probably have to kinda wait for this tower to finish. Unfortunately for Suvak, he was slow on wood. I think he kinda underestimated that. He has only 1 guy on wood now trying to catch up with that, but if he had the wood now, he could easily already be making his own expansion while delaying this, and he will gain nice macro advantage in the beginning, while also having 10 seconds faster build time of course of the main building. But unfortunately he kinda messed up here with the wood, because he was focusing too heavily on the harassment and micro here, so in the end it actually didn't work that well for him. And since there is also the tower now and everything, there is these 2 swordsmen, he will actually lose both this minion and the warrior without really killing anything. I don't think he actually killed a single peasant. He just kinda delayed everything for Cozy, but didn't really kill anything. And even though he's now finally making the expansion, I think he will still have it a little bit later. But not by much, so we can say that the opener is still kinda even. Suvak is 11, actually yeah, 11 population ahead, so that's kinda good. Cozy getting a really quick upgrade for damage for swordsman with the iron sword upgrade, plus 1 damage for all swordsmen here. Finally fixing his population cap problem. And as you can see, Suvak already made a goblin hut as well actually before the expansion, and he already produced 4 goblin hunters, plus he has 4 barons, so he can make them into goblin riders, and he can also bring his warrior here with that and potentially try some push. But there is this tower, so it's basically impossible to push, even though we can try some harassment. But since it's really hard to heal for Beast, I probably wouldn't really go for that, even though I think he might actually attempt it. He is 11 population ahead still, while basically having the same gems, a little bit less wood, or like half, yeah, because Beast is heavily dependent on wood, plus he had some wood problems in the beginning. But he's also already making a Dark Altar, trying to unlock something more advanced. Usually what I see Suak go for most of the time is early Dark Altar into Revive Altar, and then try to get the superior boomerang that is now locked behind Revive Altar, but it also gives +2 damage instead of +1, plus also still +1 range, so it's really powerful upgrade. If you also combine it with some damage upgrades in the Weapon Mastery, like Sharp Blade or whatever, you can get really strong offensive pressure. You also can get, of course, Witch there for Bloodlust and speed boost, and it's really powerful, of course. So I have 3 swordsmen here. They didn't really kill anything, dealt some damage, but also took some damage. Suak doesn't even bother making a tower. He's getting a Harpiness and finally the Weapon Master. Started with these trees because they are closer, but now he goes for this forest, which is way bigger. So really good decision. And actually Cozy is going for Mass Dryads, which is kinda strong against Goblin Riders mainly, because it's a kinda strong big unit, so if you can enchant it, it can be really effective. Same applies to Spitters, for example. And it's also kinda usable in some Empire mirrors. If you watch some games where I played some of those initial games as Empire against Suak, for example, you might have seen me using some Dryads there for both enchant and bears. Plus it's good, of course, to cover the whole map with vision, with Eyes of the Forest. Cozy is going really heavily on towers, setting up so many towers that it's basically unpushable without trolls for Suak. While also finally making second barracks, and he also has a gnome workshop, so we can start making catapults or even arcs or some arc drops. Suak scouted all of this and still is trying to go for some push. I think this is probably kinda major mistake from him, but he's kinda confident that he can push this with so many goblins and also the Bloodlust buff from the Witch. And Cozy actually kinda messed up his enchants here because he casted them and then pulled back, so all of them got removed and now he doesn't really have mana. But of course, unfortunately for Suak, there is 3 towers that are constantly shooting him, or at least 2 now are shooting, and it's just such a high damage that even though you have those Goblin Riders there with 300 HP and 1 armor, it's just not enough to survive this. Yeah, he's not even targeting the tower, so I think this was a major mistake from Suak. He had a really strong army, he could have easily made 2 more expansions now and he would be completely safe because Cozy couldn't push him. But of course, Suak probably didn't really want to go into the late game against Empire, so he just tried to time push it, and Cozy definitely really well responded to this by making 3 towers and also catapults, so he just nicely pushed Suak back and also evened up the population while still being on the same amount of bases, which Suak is now trying to break, but there is a scout, swordsman of Cozy, so that might prevent that or at least delay it. Suak is also trying to bring a Harpy here, but you can only enter here, even with air, so he will have to go through the towers, or he can, of course, keep scouting expansions. Seems like Cozy will be going for this base first. Usually this is the natural third base, but you can, of course, also start with this one. This one has the disadvantage that your villagers can get easily harassed from here by ranged units, so that's a little bit harder to defend. But he also went for double Elven Sanctuary, so yeah. Actually, third one, there will be lots of Dryads, or maybe he wants to swap to Valkyries, not sure. Finally has Temple as well, 1 priest is here. But he has 0 gems because he's pumping all of them into the Dryads, also he's now getting Trailblazing. There's also 1 Garrison Swordsman. Suak actually gained the economy advantage again, by 21. Plus he should have the third base sooner. No, actually, yeah, there is a mistake. I saw that when I was spectating this. He actually pulled... He was defending this, waiting for this to finish, even making a totem. But he forgot to... he probably pulled the minion away together or something. And then he forgot to build this stronghold. So there was like over 1 minute or even 2 minutes downtime where he was waiting for this base to finish. But he didn't have any villagers actually building it. So that was a huge mistake. We can actually see Cozy going for the Dire Bears. But there is already a totem. Lots of units. It was a weird troll animation. He was shooting to the left and the rock was flying to the right. Bears have bash damage, so they are really strong against buildings in general. Overall, against units like this, they will kinda quickly die, of course. Suak even has a Strider now. So I think Suak would have this base way sooner than Cozy, but since he forgot to put a minion there, finally now he refreshed it, yeah. He will have it later actually in the end. And Cozy is immediately going for a forward base actually. And here there's a scout, so kind of preventing, even here, preventing Suak from expanding easily. He's bringing the Dryads again, but that means that he doesn't really have any other normal units, so Suak could definitely launch some pressure, and now when he has the Trolls he can even deal with towers, so definitely will be smart for him to go somewhere. Pulling the witch back a little bit, saving it, even some sacrifices there, so really good. He lost like one Boron there, which was the sacrifice I believe. Cozy has a castle, I don't know if he has disciples or not. Strider here forcing the scouts away, so that's good. But his base is not even saturated yet. Cozy has more there, plus he's making another one. So definitely ahead. Marsuak is slowly pushing him away from his side of the map. Of course the bears have advantage of not really costing anything. Mana is just free, it costs only time, so if he can delay the enemy with bears, deal some free damage that is hard to heal for the beast race, it can be kinda good. At the same time, of course, he is giving free kills to the enemy, leveling up his army, so I don't think it's actually worth it. But it's questionable. Strider finding this base, so that might be kinda devastating for Cozy. But it's still a base that he has as an advantage against Subak. And I don't think Suak saw this base, so maybe he thinks that he is actually ahead now when he sees that this is not working yet. But at the same time there is already another base, so Suak will definitely have to deal with this. And now he finally found it. He has lots of harpies, so if he got confusion, which I believe he definitely got, he should be easily able to deal with any catapults. So Cozy really going crazy with the Dryads there. And yeah, this is what I was saying, you can easily harass from here with ranged units, but fortunately for Cozy he has 3 towers there, so that's not the easiest. Now there are the bears, and this is lots of bears. When there is so many of them it actually gets kinda difficult, because they have almost same HP as warriors, plus they have more damage and probably even a faster attack speed, so even though they are maybe a little bit squishier, also don't have any armor, they have actually really high damage, and it can get kinda difficult, plus if you combine it even with some enchants, not the best strategy at all, even though of course the beast army still defeated that. So he's definitely on the timer of course. But I wasn't really able to stop this base also not. And population is still kinda even. Bears still dealing heavy damage. Nice confusion there, but at the same time harpies are catched with enchants, but there is not really anything that could harm them except this one elf ranger. Cozy trying to desperately cast some new bears there. Yeah, he should turn off the automatic enchant, because this enchant on the harpies is kinda useless. Just wasting mana, but now finally bringing some pikemen even. New bears, even casting some invisibilities here. But there is nice trolls here with good levels, 9 kills on 2 of them. There is Garrison's Peasant. Even some confusions on Dryads, also kinda questionable, maybe he had it on autocast, he should definitely confuse this catapult. Or even the pikeman maybe. There is not that many goblins left, but they are still doing kinda fine. Cozy expanding behind this fight once, but Subak as well, which is still 1 base behind, so Cozy has the economical advantage. He also has way more gold, even though gems are kinda even. But on population Subak is actually winning, even though now he lost some units here. He's preparing some warriors here for a push, but against so many towers, that won't be that easy. Many harpies coming, it's just trolls, harpies and borons and goblins. With some warriors and witches maybe. Cozy is thinking on lots of gold, but he doesn't have any wood. He needs to definitely focus on that now. This base was found, but the tower is scouting the Strider, so Even though it's not upgraded yet, even at tier 1 as a scout tower that cannot attack, it still has the ability to detect invisible units. And here we have the bears again. I don't know, this is like 20, maybe even 25 Gerards, insane. Yeah, he finally forced the peasants away from here, but now he's getting pressured by all the bears. He's actually using Borons as tanks, which I guess could kinda work. Of course, if you can get pike damage, that's a huge counter to the bears. But Beast doesn't have that, so actually against Beast is probably the best. Okay, we see also first Warlock from Suvak. Actually double Lizard Fortress, double Weapon Master getting Berserkers, also Henge here, another Harpy. There is 2 totems, so these swordsmen won't be able to push this. So we're going for another base, so that will be finally the 5th base as well for him. But at the same time, Cozy already almost finished his 6th base, so Cozy is maintaining that 1 extra base advantage, and he has so many pikemen, nice poison fog there. But also there are the Gerards from the side, enchants, and so many bears, and this is insane, yeah? Pikemen from one side, bears from other side, and the beast army is just completely surrounded, and even though he has the warlocks there, this is completely insane. But as you saw, actually, he used the warlocks for the abduction, I think, because the bears just kinda disappeared, so I think that's why he started spamming so many warlocks. He just one-shotted all the summoned units with abduction from the warlocks. And at the same time he was splashing down the pikemen, so even though it was an insane push, I think the warlocks just saved Suvak. But at the same time he's still 30 population behind against 3,500 gold of Cozy. And now also being behind on gems. So many bears again, let's see maybe some abductions again. As you can see, that's killing them really quickly. Because we have 50 damage there on the abduction from warlocks, so that's just really quick way of killing that. But we also see mages from Cozy finally. And also knights, which will be even stronger. There is nothing that would counter knights here in this army. Overall as beast you need to get ogres usually to deal with knights. Because it's the highest damage, single target damage unit in the game. And of course, yeah, knights don't really care about some totem or villagers, and they are quick, so he just harasses this and then he can ride away if needed. Yeah, the totem still didn't even kill a single knight during this whole time. He doesn't have prayer yet. And also doesn't have horse armor, so overall they are not as strong as they could be, but he still dealt some decent damage there, and he's pushing on the other side with his bears. These warlocks don't have any more mana, but at least he casted Poison Fog. Maybe some confusions, but there is more and more prepared. Finally we see the Berserkers as well. Cozy protecting this. They both are basically on full population now, but yeah, Cozy has still 5 times more gold in stock. Nice confusions there on the knights, making them attack each other. But he also one-shotted his own warlock with trolls. Level 4 trolls here, 20 kills even, yeah, insane. And now he has a nice surround on him. Unfortunately all of his harpies got enchanted. So he can't really confuse anything. He confused one mage here. Steambird's even joining for Cozy, and even though they have both full population, you don't really see any massive armies. It's like decent, but nothing huge because they have so many bases. Most of the population is actually in the villagers. In terms of upgrades, we can see 2-1 and 0-1. While here we see 2 and 2 and 1 and 0. So no one is really on like 3-3 or anything. We even saw some battle cry attempts here. But that will die. And Suvak is really on 0 resources, while Cozy can reproduce half of his army immediately. Maybe even full. And Suvak also struggles to really harass anything. Now he's bringing wyverns, but those also can't really do with the towers. Even though with one tower, of course, they can. So if he focus fires here properly, he should be able to deal some damage, but doesn't mean Cozy won't bring any protection. Also he has teamwork repair, so this is basically impossible to kill. Another broken thing about Empire is teamwork. For both power building town halls, for fast expanding, and also repairing towers. As you can see, there is 4 wyverns, and 1 tower will kill them all because they can't destroy it. Minions easily, of course, stopping expansion here. They will expand there on their own. And Cozy really doesn't have too many units here. It's just few knights and mages, with some elf rangers and 1 catapult, and few dryads, but it's still keeping the whole army of Subak here. And decrease will keep him back, of course. Nice confusion there on the knight at least. He killed 1 mage. Now bringing the warlocks, poison fog. But he could dispel it, he has a mage there. So that was just mistake micromanagement from Cozy. Bringing some priests, but it's too late, even though actually some resurrections are still happening there. Which might still kill majority of the Borons here for Subak. On the other side of the map, yeah, he's pushing with bears again. Bear harassment everywhere, but Cozy is on 10,000 gold now, so even though he fell like 50 population behind now, it's not a major problem. Level 5 troll here, oh, like 100 damage basically. 90 actually, 22 kills. Finally Ogre's joining, but there is also the Steam Bird. This base got harassed by him, I think. This base got stopped by bears. This corner is not taken by Subak, also this got destroyed. Well, yeah, right now it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bases. But of course majority of them is not working anymore. So in terms of working bases, there is 2 for Subak and 3 for Cozy. Actually 4 for Cozy. Yeah, so he's basically double income. Subak was able to recover to full population, Cozy as well, but Subak once again 0 gold. Trolls, of course, yeah, insane. He even has the battle cry now, plus all the buffs from the witches, so the damage is insane at attack speed as well, but he can't do anything against pikemen with that. But nice poison fog. No mages here for Cozy to dispel that. It really feels like Subak is struggling to find the win condition here. It's hard for him to get new bases and hold them, and he can't really push into so many towers without trolls, which get heavily punished by pikemen and mages and everything. Steamers as well. And also the enchants are really annoying. Yeah, he brought a decent army here actually, but everything got frozen and now it will get killed by the towers. And of course enchant lasts 25 seconds, so it's usually enough to kill the unit. Of course not like an ogre, but most of the other units, yes. Ogres even take half damage from Pierce actually. He goes for another push, but there is already too many units. Pikemen and knights. Pikemen are at least thrown away. Okay, he decreased his own units. Pikemen are at least thrown away by the rocks from the trolls and also by ogres, so then you cannot resurrect them. But knights are big units, so you can't throw them away, so those are always resurrectable, which is also really powerful. But nice fight here from Subak. Unfortunately, at the same time, he lost the fight here, so actually the population is still in favor of Cozy, or basically balanced, but at least he won this fight. I mean, Subak, maybe he could potentially finally push this base. But now he doesn't have the buff from Stronghold anymore for the trolls. Doesn't have Bloodlust there. He needs to get more witches, which he's doing now. Trolls are still the main power for Beast, together of course with goblins and everything. But it's hard to deal with the knights. But yeah, of course, knights, when you confuse them, they cannot move, and then you can splash them down with trolls kinda easily. So I think trolls and harpies are actually a really good counter to knights. Outside of it, you really need to go for the ogres, and of course it's punished by pike damage. But Subak now started losing all the Borons, and I think he will now fall in population cap too much down, and he won't be able to recover anymore because he has 0 resources. So unfortunately, the resource disadvantage was just too much. A nice escape there with Gaseous Swarm, because the enemy is basically zero anti-air, and he has decent amount of goblins here actually ready. So one ogre, some new barons, he could go for another push. I don't think he will be able to push this base during the whole game. They both are trying to expand here. I think the bees will be there first. But there is too many peasants probably. The main building is actually almost destroyed, so he could just bring some trolls and one-shot it before the army can even react. But yeah, now of course Empire will take control of this. Steambird again harassing here. We haven't seen really any manticores. We saw some wyverns, but not really any manticores to deal with the Steambirds. But he doesn't have resources. Yeah, we also haven't seen any Rains of Fire, for example. I don't think he even has Mouth of Hell, which means he also didn't have any demons, for example. And so still some tools are left there, but since he doesn't have the necessary macro for that, it's kinda difficult. I think this base was not scouted much by Cozy, so maybe Suak could have taken that earlier. But I'm not actually exactly sure, and he can still walk through here, so it would be kinda difficult to defend that. Cozy finally realizing he needs to repair this. With Teamwork it takes not even 10 seconds to repair 3000 HP. With 5 armor of course, and even some pierce and poison reductions there, so really difficult. Actually he has a demon, so he must have Mouth of Hell somewhere. No idea where. Okay, actually here. He's getting Chaos Rift now. But Suak will lose another base. He has 0 resources. He has to go for a push of course, even though he doesn't even have full population. Demon of course, 900 HP is okay. 3 armor, yeah, not terrible, but you still take double damage from Pike, which is kinda nasty. But together here with the Ogre and everything, it's okay. It's the highest HP unit in terms of base, but you don't even get levels, yeah, so I think if you level up Ogre, for example, to level 5, it will probably have even more. Some distance mining here. Basically the last income for Suak. Cozy of course taking new bases there with the Teamwork. Ah, looks like he either resurrected him from Revive Altar, or if you go into Gaseous Form and back, it removes the kills counter because he's level 5 and has only 1 kill. Actually all of them have... No, this one has 27 kills. So I don't know. I think he escaped with all of them with Gaseous Form, but maybe he remade them. Yeah, now he dropped from Gaseous Form and he has 0, so Gaseous Form resets kill count. Kinda annoying, but kill count doesn't really do anything, it's just a nice information to have there. Nice harassment once again coming here to the corner. You can see the move there. It got scouted I believe maybe, but army is too slow for the beast to get there in time. Cozy 13,000 gold. Now really over half of the map under his control. And Knights of course immediately one-shotting the totem. He doesn't even have maximum upgrades still, yeah? Only 2 and 2. Suak of course is 3 and 3 here and 3 and 1, which is okay. You mainly need the damage there for dredge rolls. If you go mess ogres then maybe. One fusion's nice, but not really enough. Steambirds, mages finally. Suak, I mean, Cozy didn't make that many mages. But now he's slowly swapping to them. When he lost most of his Dryads, I think. Here we see a push, basically a main army, but yes, more armies around the map definitely. Poison Fox nice, finally some dispels, even though still kinda late. I don't think he's too used to using mages. Demon still alive, but only 200 HP remaining, and yeah, decrease of course. No way to stop that as beast. This income is actually still working. Cozy needs to rebuild this, he actually lost that. And these bases might be getting kinda empty now. It's again a decree. This base is also kinda empty, but yeah, it will be basically 1 against 2 bases, but Cozy has 15,000 gold, so even if he would have 0 income and Slovak would gain like 3 bases now, I still think Cozy could easily win that. He pulls back to the towers. He even had his casters in the front line, but I don't think that will matter much. Just few decrees will solve that problem. Steambird harassment again. I mean, the trolls are doing really well, of course, during the whole game. The only problem for them are Steambirds and then of course melee units that just rush on them. Maybe more berserk, like having maybe 15 berserkers to protect the trolls, and then just going full population trolls with some witches behind them, and of course some warlocks to support with spells, but overall going for that and just maybe ignoring goblins overall. Maybe using the barons rather for healing for the trolls and berserkers. Might work actually better, but I'm not exactly sure actually. But you definitely will still need harpies and maybe demons to confuse and one-shot enemy mages with either self-destruct or the demolition with hellfire. But yeah, of course, you can see the trolls even after some resets. There is 40 kills here on this troll, multiple level 5s, really powerful. But yeah, this is the end. Slovak eventually resigned, and after 43 minutes, Cozy was the winner here with 341 kills against 401 of Slovak. So Slovak actually killed more, and he had only 25 less units. But as we said, Cozy had way more resources, 25,000 extra gold, also 5,000 extra gems. In terms of wood, he was also ahead. He also had 4 more researches, way more buildings. Actually behind on experience, those trolls are not messing around. Army largest, also actually in favor of Slovak. But yeah, definitely a really great game. GG's to both of them, and I hope you enjoyed it as well, and I will see you in the next one, so take care guys.